In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how I lost $10,000 selling on Amazon and the top 5 mistakes that you need to avoid. Let's jump right into it. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new, my name is Brad Sherman, 7-figure seller, and on this channel, we explore tips, strategies, and experiences that I have had that will help you start and scale up your Amazon FBA wholesale business. In this video, I have the warehouse behind me, and today we're going to be covering the top 5 mistakes that you need to avoid as an Amazon FBA seller. I'm also going to share with you a story that when I first started, how I lost $10,000 in selling on Amazon. Before we jump into it, if you guys do enjoy these videos, make sure to smash that like button. It really helps out the videos in the algorithm. Consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell as well to stay up to date on all future content. And if you guys haven't gone through the channel and checked out some of the other videos where we do deep dives on product research, how to find profitable brands, and how to ship your products into Amazon, make sure to scroll through the channel and check those videos out. And if you guys aren't following us on other social media channels, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, make sure to check us out under Operation AMZ and give us a follow. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. So the first thing I want to cover is how I lost $10,000 in selling on Amazon. And this dates back to during COVID. During COVID is when we made our shift to wholesale from retail and online arbitrage. And I started reaching out to brands to get wholesale accounts directly with these brands. And I had a wholesale account with a particular brand that sold to over 30 different Amazon resellers. So they had a big problem with Amazon reseller control, and they didn't really see it at the time that I got the account. Later on, they started to determine that this was a problem, and they were looking to gravitate towards into something that was more selective with a few sellers on the listing, or possibly even an exclusive with one seller. On this one, I was a day late and $1 short, but it's important to note that I couldn't afford that account at the time because the potential profit was hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And at the time, even if I got the brand exclusive, I wouldn't have been able to support it with the capital that was required. The products sold by this particular brand were in the beauty category, and they had 3-digit sales rank. And for those of you that are not familiar with sales rank, a 3-digit rank in beauty is phenomenal. It's moving tens of thousands of units a month at that sales rank. And with this particular account, it actually went crazy during COVID. So the sales skyrocketed. This was almost the #1 bestseller in the main category during COVID. So what ended up happening was I bought a ton of inventory to support that. I was literally having pallets shipped to my house for this particular item, and it was all going well until something happened back in June of 2020. In June of 2020, Amazon shifted their buy box algorithm. So previously, before that shift, every reseller roughly got an equal share of the buy box. But when they made that switch in the buy box algorithm, Amazon was rewarding the buy box to 1 to 3 sellers on that particular listing. So everyone else that was selling on the listing wasn't selling, and that included me. And I had already purchased 2 pallets worth of this inventory that now I wasn't selling. So you might be saying, why didn't I just lower the price? Well, this particular brand that we work with had what's called a MAP policy. MAP stands for minimum advertised price. And if you reduce your price below that threshold, you are not going to be able to have an account with that brand. So we were stuck at the MAP price, and we couldn't sell inventory. And it was during this time the brand started making a shift in narrowing down the number of sellers that were on the listing. And like I said earlier on, I was a day late and $1 short. And at the time, I didn't understand on how to pitch brands on exclusivity or a selective agreement where they sell to maybe 3 or 4 different select Amazon resellers. And because I didn't know how to have that conversation, and because I couldn't afford it capital-wise, I was not able to close that account into an exclusive. If you guys haven't checked out my video on exactly how we close these exclusive accounts, which is the blueprint to Amazon FBA Wholesale Brand Direct, I've linked it up above for you guys to check out. So what ended up happening and how I lost this money is that all the resellers started to dump their inventory because they knew that the brand was making a shift, and they were dumping their inventory to a level that was at a loss on Amazon. And at the time, it was earlier on in my Amazon Amazon career, so I didn't have a complete picture on what to do in this situation. And the brand was offering a buyback for 50 cents on the dollar. And I knew at that time that that buyback was actually more than I would have made selling the product on Amazon. So I actually packed up all these units into boxes and shipped them back to the brand. The problem is that the shipping carrier destroyed all the inventory when it shipped back to them, and it all came apart inside of the boxes, and it was a complete mess for the brand. So I ended up getting maybe $1,500 back for inventory that was worth way more. And this is the story of how I lost $10,000. So the biggest thing I want to share with you guys in this video are the top 5 mistakes that you want to avoid as an Amazon FBA seller, especially in the beginning stages of your business. Mistake number 1 to avoid as an Amazon FBA seller is not placing test orders. This example with this brand is a perfect example of going wide instead of deep. This was the first time I actually went really deep on something, and it kind of came back to bite me. That's not to say you can't go deep on products that make sense to go deep on, but it's something that you should acquire as you get more experienced as a seller. The number one way to mitigate risk as a new seller and as any FBA seller is to place smaller test orders so that you are able to get a feel for the products, see the sales come in through your inventory, and then place more volume appropriate orders. It was also a very volatile time at that time during COVID, so nobody really knew how much more this demand was going to sustain itself at that time. However, regardless of conditions, it's always advisable to place test orders and then make a purchase that keeps you anywhere from 30 to a 45-day supply. The second mistake that you want to avoid as an Amazon FBA seller is not analyzing the Keepa chart. When we look at Keepa and analyze the trends, we look for things like historical price, historical sales volume, and historical competition on the listing. By analyzing the chart over a long period of time and assessing where the price is today versus where it was yesterday versus where it was 6 months ago, we are able to make more strategic decisions and help us stay profitable long term. If you guys haven't checked out the other video on my channel where I do a deep dive on how to read a Keepa chart, I've linked it up above for you to check out. The third mistake to avoid as a new Amazon FBA seller and any Amazon FBA seller is not knowing your numbers. It is so important to know your numbers on the ground level because as you scale your business, it's just going to crumble long term. And I'm not just talking about the profit that you're making per unit and your ROI. I'm talking about your business on a holistic level. We talk about cash flow and profit and loss statement. These are things that you're really going to want to pay attention to and hone in on. You need to know what your profit margin is, gross profit and net profit margin out the door as an Amazon FBA wholesale business. Is that in Amazon FBA wholesale, the general idea of the business model is that it's higher volume but lower profit margin. So as an Amazon FBA wholesale seller, you can probably expect to make about a 15% gross margin, which is your sales minus your cost of goods sold, minus your Amazon fees, minus any shipping per unit. After that, your net profit margin typically breaks down based on how much overhead expenses you have. So if that's 5%, then you're left with about a 10% profit margin. In Amazon wholesale, because our profit margin is lower than other business models on Amazon, such as private label, it's even more important to pay attention and hone in on your numbers. This means understanding your cash from Amazon and where that cash is going, and also understanding where your profit margin is. A great book to read as a new Amazon seller is Profit First for E-commerce Sellers by Cindy Thompson. This book is going to help you understand the importance of cash flow and perhaps separating multiple different bank accounts for different major categories of your business, such as inventory, profit to the business, taxes, and owner's pay. Mistake number 4 to avoid as an Amazon FBA seller is not understanding or placing importance on your account health. This is perhaps the number one most important thing in selling on Amazon, because if you don't have your account health, you don't have a business. And with Amazon, they are very strict with account health, but if you can build up your account over a long period of time, purchase directly from brands, which will give you the security of supply chain and being authorized to sell all of the products in your inventory on Amazon, you will be able to avoid things like intellectual property complaints, restricted product policy violations, and so on. There's always going to be things that pop up in your Amazon account health, which is normal as an Amazon FBA business. And the more you grow, the more issues like this you may deal with. But by purchasing directly from brands, you can help mitigate these things, and always pay attention to your account health and monitor your performance notifications, because if you are prompt with your response to Amazon, they are going to let you continue to sell on their platform. And the more you build up your account, the better your account health, the more you will be rewarded from Amazon, and you will be seen in Amazon's eyes as a good seller on their platform. Last but not least, mistake number 5 is not surrounding yourself with a community that is going to help you grow. It is so important in your selling on Amazon journey to surround yourself with a community of like-minded people that are going to help you grow and be successful. The best way to fast track your results is to learn from other people. So this means joining things like Facebook groups, mentorship communities, and surrounding yourself with other Amazon FBA sellers. Ask questions in these communities and learn from people who are more experienced than you. This is because you'll be able to avoid the mistakes that they made and use advice from them to help you not only scale faster, but scale with less mistakes. That's it for this video, guys. I hope that helped you understand about my $10,000 mistake and the top 5 mistakes that you need to avoid as an Amazon FBA seller. In selling on Amazon and buying inventory, it's so important to mitigate risk, and this video went into detail about the top 5 mistakes that you need to avoid to be a successful Amazon seller. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button. It really helps out the videos in the algorithm. Consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell as well to stay up to date on all future content. And if you guys haven't checked out the other videos on the channel where we go into deep dives on how to read a Keepa chart, how to source profitable wholesale suppliers, and how to contact those wholesale suppliers, make sure to scroll through the channel and check those videos out. And if you guys aren't following us on other social media channels such as Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, make sure to give us a follow under Operation AMZ. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you next time.